Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, boxing and MMA fans from around the world. Introducing from Bassett, California, the third man in the ring, Popeye Ray.
How you doing? Welcome to Third Man in the Ring. I'm your host, Popeye Ray. Today we got another awesome interview. I mean, you know what, guys? Let's get down to the nitty gritty. With all the ugliness that's happening in the world, this man came from the pit of war. He grew up in Israel. Yes, he's Jewish. He's a great friend of mine. And we want to give him a warm welcome to Effie. He's going to be a professional referee soon, God willing. We're going to hear his testimony. He was a pro fighter. He came from Israel, came over here, and he fought pro. So we're going to hear his testimony. We're going to hear his thoughts on what's happening in the war. I personally would love to hear his side, but I want you to give a warm welcome to my friend, your friend, Effie. How you doing, bro?
Very good.
Thank you for coming on, bro. Thank you, bro.
How you doing?
So, Effie, what are you doing today? I see you have all your memorabilia from all your fights.
Yeah.
What are you doing today?
I have a business, dental supply business.
Dental supply.
Import and distribution of dental products.
Oh, okay. So that's cool. That's cool. So if you guys need dental supply, especially your dentist, when you give me that drilling noise, Effie's the guy, man. But hey, Effie, tell the fans, where'd you grow up at?
So I was born and raised in Israel.
Israel.
I came to Los Angeles to become a professional fighter at 21 after I finished my military service. And that's when I started.
Get to that.
That's when I started this business. You know, there was a way to survive and be a pro boxer at the same time. Because
Did you fight in Israel?
yeah, I've been fighting since I was 12.
Oh, okay.
That was it.
What was do you have brothers or what?
I have one sister.
One sister?
She's 3 years younger than me.
And the family supported you in boxing?
Not really. Not really.
Mom don't want you getting hit.
No, it's not like grandma says, why don't you, if you like sports, why don't you play tennis? You know,
Tennis.
you know, why you want to play boxing? I said, grandma, boxing is not a game. You know, I just like boxing. You know, it's kept me out of trouble with, I like to fight in school, in the street. It was just like, so when I started,
came natural, huh?
yeah, when I stopped boxing, that was it. I stopped getting into trouble in school and started getting into just little fights here and there. And I had a good trainer. It was a teacher, and he told me, you want to fight.
And it's a difference how you say. It's funny how you say that. He was a teacher.
He was a teacher.
He was a teacher.
He told me, you want to fight with somebody, bring him here, put gloves on, do it here. He felt like I have something, like I can be a good fighter. He says, you want to be a champion one day? Then he says, look at my hand. I fought in the street. I broke my hand. I could never be a champion. He says, if you want to be a champion one day, don't fight in the street. You're going to ruin your hands.
Yeah, the hand damage is just ridiculous to be a professional fighter. So tell the fans real quick, Effie, how did you grow up? How was life in Israel? As much as we know, how was life back then?
So I was born in 1970. Israel is a small country.
Yes.
My father was killed in a war when I was 3 years old, 1973 in the war. I was 3 years old. My sister was 6 months. So my mom raised us by herself pretty much. She had her parents. My dad parents also, his dad, like my grandfather and my dad also was killed in the 1948 war. So I'm a third generation of, they got killed in the war. And all my life, I wanted to be a combat soldier. I wanted to be special forces. That was my dream. And when I started boxing at 12, when it was time for me to join the military, I wanted to be a special forces. And because my father was killed, my mom had to sign a release and she wouldn't. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I don't care. I know you want to jump first, but it's not going to be on me. I'm not going to sign. And so that made me kind of choose the path of boxing.
If you don't mind me asking, Effie, do you remember your father?
I have like two memories from 3 years old. So I have like two vague memories.
And this is just my call. It's crazy how DNA works, because even though you were a child when he passed, You raised a good man, bro.
Yeah, yeah. It was there was my role model. There was stories from uncles, from friends, from other family members. They told me about him and always said, "Oh, you're so much like him. You're so much like him." The look and the behavior, as in genes are genes.
Yes, yes.
You know, I grew up to be very similar in the attitude, in the character, very similar.
And I've seen a couple of your tapes of your pro fights. So I'm thinking Dad was a bad dude.
He was, yeah. There were kids back then growing up also without a dad, and they had to survive. So they did anything they could to survive.
It's kind of understandable. As much as you wanted to go be the first guy out there in the war, it's kind of understandable why Mom, no.
Yeah, I can't blame her. Actually, my sister asked me just a couple of years ago, is like, do you still like mad at Mom or blame Mom for it? I said, no. I said, I can understand. I would be the one that jumped first. It's just, that's my character.
Yeah, yeah. So you went through your childhood, teenage years. Any ups and downs over there?
Yeah, it's we had a beautiful growing up. It's like America in the 60s, pretty much. You walk to school, you're like kids, you take the soccer boys, they go, let's go play soccer. It's like complete freedom. It's Israel, it's surrounded by enemies, but the life in the mid-city life is complete freedom. You don't feel hostilities, you don't feel any danger. It's like kids are free, even until this day. You walk around Israel and you see kids that are 10 and 12 years old just walk around the street in groups at 10 o'clock at night. At midnight, you see 16-year-old girls going out at midnight, and it's the personal security is very high, higher than here.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a very you feel very, very secure.
Oh. So, but on that side note, even though you were in boxing, even though you went through high school, you knew the dangers, though, right?
Yeah, you know that you live in a danger zone. You know that there's enemy right like a few minutes away. It's really a very small country, and the enemy is very, very close.
Describe the size of Israel to a state in the United States.
Delaware.
Delaware?
It's like from north to south, you can probably drive in 6 hours. From east to west, at the most 30 minutes. At the shortest, it's maybe 15 minutes. It's a very, very small country.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So what possessed you to want to come to America?
To turn professional. I was here on a...
So tell me, Effie, there's no pros in Israel?
Not really, no. There's an amateur. There's a lot of Russians that are boxers. They came from Russia. So the boxing is pretty much Russian style and a lot of Russian trainers.
They do that.
Yeah. And my trainer was Russian, but he always proud himself like I train like the pros. And I was fighting since I was 13, and I was a champion at 16 and a adult champion at 17 and at the Olympic team, and I came to visit here in Los Angeles at 18.
So you made the Olympic team?
I didn't make I made the Olympic team, not the Olympics.
Yeah.
There was some political issues in Israel and they didn't send the team. I was very disappointed. I came here at 18. I started looking for gyms where I can work out, and I met Chuck Bodak. And
all the crazy.
And he let me spar with somebody like a professional, and I did very good at 18. And I kept in touch with him the 3 years that I was in the military. When I came back, I went to him and I said, where do I train? And he sent me to a few different gyms. I found a gym in Inglewood that I liked, and I started training, and I turned pro, and my debut was on the same day as De La Hoya debut.
Yeah.
I was fighting right after him, and I started my career. I had like big hopes, and I knew I'm going to be a champion one day, and I just needed to be good enough. I didn't care about the business and the promotion and the managers and all that. I said,
just focused on being a champion, huh?
And I was naive because you need the business.
Yeah.
You need the business people. I thought it's just enough to be good enough, but it's not.
Nah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good fighters out there, and if they don't have the right management.
Yeah. And I never had the right management. I never did. I was just, I took fights on days' notice. I would fight anybody.
So you're a tough cookie, though.
Yeah.
You're a tough cookie. I got to admit that. I've seen little video and clips of you.
Yeah,
Tough, bro.
I sparred with Julio Cesar Chavez. I sparred with Shane Mosley. I sparred with Oscar De La Hoya. Gabriel Ruelas and Rafael Ruelas was every
They're all
day.
big names, guys.
I trained with them every day. Like we did thousands of rounds. Sometimes they got the better of me. Sometimes I got the better of them. You know, it was going back and forth. You know, Joe Goosen is he likes like tough sparrings in the gym.
Jumping to that question, who was training you then?
At the beginning, there was a gym in Inglewood. Some trainer was a good guy, but not known. And then after a year or so, a year and a half, I found Joe and I started training with Joe. And Joe made me into a pit bull. I told him.
I think that's when I first seen you. When I went to Joe's gym, I spotted you.
Yes, I told Joe, you made me feel like I'm a pit bull. It's like I can go in with anybody. It's just it was the way he was like seeing the fights and the sparring. It was just
Joe Goosen. He's part of the brothers, guys, of the Goosen promoter. May he rest in peace. The older brother passed. Yeah. But Joe Goosen, you see him on Showtime or sometimes
commentating. He still got fighters.
Some great fights as well with Diego Corrales.
Yeah.
He's done numerous fights. Recently, I think he just had Chris Arreola, right?
Chris Arreola. He's got the other Ukrainian guy that just won the title.
There you go.
He's still in it.
He knows his business, right? So, and I know Joe personally. He's not going to take just a nobody. Yeah. So that says a lot in itself, you know? Yeah. So how did your career go as a pro?
I had 18 fights, 14 wins, 13 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw. It was good, you know. I had my 15 minutes. I enjoyed it, and you know.
But you know what, Effie? Nobody could take those memories from me. Nobody.
That's my memories. Nobody. And you know what? I can still use my brains. So
you know what?
I think you
said it, not me, but you're right.
I think I stopped at the right time. I could have continued a little bit more, but the career was not going the way I wanted. I felt like I'm being taken advantage financially, and I'm not making the money.
It's ugly business. Man.
Yeah,
ugly business.
And I decided I started that business when I first came. I had an uncle in Israel that bought this factory that makes the product for the dentist. And he told me, I know you're crazy, you have dreams, you want to go to America to become a professional boxer. There's a lot of dentists in America, and if you're a real salesman, just go and sell it to them, and then you can make some money. And that's what I did. I started the business at the same time I started professional boxing.
Was that kind of hard to be training and doing your business as well?
Yeah, you know, I took a few hours a day and just went to dental offices door to door, knocked on the dentist's door and says, hey, you know, you want to buy? I have this product. And I sold a couple $100 here and there.
Straight you start that's starting from the street level.
My English was not good. You know, I made a couple $100 here and there.
I don't want to tease you on the English. I don't want to get beat up right now, so I'll just leave that one alone. So you started just going from dentist office to this.
Yeah, it's been 30 years, and I still have customers from back then, from the 30 years ago. They still buying, the same people.
And if you guys need some drills, Effie's the guy, man. So you decided that's it with boxing. You just, you know.
Yeah, when I turned 30, I went to a trade show. I started going to trade shows, and I made about $5,000 in a trade show. And a couple of weeks before that, I had a boxing fight, and I made like $2,000. And I came back.
Waited out.
Yeah, I went back. I looked at the gym. I felt like a pain in my heart, like I'm going to break up with a girlfriend. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make boxing my hobby, my love, and the business. That's going to be my way of making money.
On a serious note, it was a major decision.
Yeah.
It was like, I want this.
I said, it's like the hard work of training and getting ready for a fight, and so many disappointments. Like you're getting ready for a fight, you're making the weight, and then the fight is getting canceled. And you know, it's just I felt like I'm not in the right path of making the millions. You know, and I said I'm good enough to make the millions, but you know, it's probably not written for me. Or if I stay,
not in the books,
and if I stay, you get the bad fights that the up and coming fighters.
Yeah, step in for this guy. He fell out. You know, I know he's 10 pounds heavier than you. But
I didn't want to. I started getting those offers, and I said I don't want to be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
So I just
because then it would have ended bad, probably. You know what I mean?
I took a fight with Jesse James Leah on a 3-day notice. I was that close to beating him. It was like a 96-94. He was the champion.
Yeah, Jesse.
And you know, so I started getting those kind of offers, and it was opportunities, but not really
Last
in
minute
my
opportunity,
favorite. Yeah.
It still hurts your feelings, I'm assuming, you know?
Yeah.
Like, shoot, why didn't they give me a 6 weeks notice? I would have took it to them. You know? I see that, man. So Effie, so you decide to retire somewhat.
Yeah.
Then when did officiating become because now you're an inspector. Right now, Effie's an inspector for the state of California. Well, I know you want to be a referee. I'm praying. I'm Andy Foster. Come on,
Man.
that's right. Give him a chance. But when did that come? When did that start playing? Or was it always in the game plan?
Not always. I would say it's like 7-8 years ago. Before COVID, I saw Jack Chris in a fight, and I told him, Jack, like, how do we become a referee? And he told me, well, there's nothing right now, but I'll let you know if something comes up. And then he called me one day and says, you know what, there's an opportunity. You can do the official training and
Sole arbiter.
sole arbiter.
Guys.
And that's how it started. I wanted to be in the game. I'm a fan of the game.
Yeah.
And I watch the fights. I go to the fights. I wanted to be to be in there, to be involved.
And that's coming back to me. I mean, I love boxing.
Me too.
I love sparring, but I wasn't good at all. I wasn't good at all. But Ben Lira, I don't know if you know Ben Lira, short 83-year-old trainer. He goes, you know what, why don't you try officiating? So that's what got me. How can I be involved in the sport I love, you know? So that's awesome, you know, and I hope Andy Foster gives you a shot.
I enjoy being an inspector. I enjoy being in fights. I feel like, you know, I know the business. I know
a lot falls on your shoulders, even as an inspector.
Yeah,
you know?
I enjoy it. I really enjoy it. It doesn't feel like work to me. I come, I enjoy, I do. I'm on the side of the fighters. I feel good. It makes me feel good just being there.
Yeah. Effie, let me ask you a personal question. How's the personal life?
I'm happy.
You're happy?
I'm happy.
You're a married guy, single?
No, I'm single right now.
Single guy. There you go, ladies.
There you go, ladies.
So, Effie, let's get down to some ugly things in life. Let's get down to what's happening in the world.
Thank you to HDC Construction in Ontario, California. They're a national leader in commercial construction with a proven track record of expertise in cold storage solutions and epoxy flooring. Their team works closely with you to efficiently meet all compliance standards while maintaining budget commitments and completing projects on time. HDC Construction works with Fortune 500 companies and small businesses throughout the country in the areas of steel stud framing, refrigeration panels, dock doors, comprehensive drain systems, fire sprinklers, block walls, and much more. If you have any modernization or full service construction needs for your business, HDC Construction is here to help. For bids, quotes, or a free consultation, call 909-626-0214 or visit their website at www.hdconstruction.com.
It's 2024, October 26th right now. It was in October of 2023.
Yeah, exactly a year anniversary to this.
When Hamas,
Yeah.
how should I say, is it fair to say raided? Or
Yeah, raided.
Raided.
They jumped the border on.
and pretty much butchered.
Yeah.
And this is, I'm not really into politics, but this is a Democratic news station that is saying this. They went in there and literally butchered, killed, murdered families, babies, beheaded them. Where were you at on that day?
I came back from Israel on October 5th. This happened on October 7th. I opened TV in the evening and I watched it. I said, that's not real. That looks like a horror movie. It doesn't look like it's real. But to realize it's real. And what they did is they caught us with the pants down. And Israel was so overconfident that this would not happen. Those communities on the borders are beautiful communities. It's like, if to give an example, it's like Ventura County. It's like beautiful small communities, and then you have the border, and on the other side of the border, you put a little kid to look at it, it's going to tell you, oh, it looks bad. It just looks bad. And the idea in Israel was that they're intimidated, they would not do anything, because from one side to the border to the other side, it could be hundreds of feet, from one community to another community. So you can cross by foot in a few minutes. And they took bulldozers to the fence, broke the fence, and just raided what you call innocent civilians. The first was like the SWAT teams that they got in, like real. They have like real SWAT teams. You know, they are very well trained.
Well, there's video on it.
Yeah, they all carried the GoPros, they videotaped everything, and then just regular people came in, and they just raided everything. They killed, they raped, they burned babies, they tied up babies in rope and put oil on them and torch them on fire. And all those communities around, those are very peaceful communities, and they let the people from Gaza to come in and walk. They want to live together. And people that came to work in the Israeli communities, they were pretty much spies. They knew that in this house there's a soldier, and in this house there's a cop, and in this house there's an old woman. And when they came in, they knew exactly where to go. So those people that the Israelis let in and be part of the life and work, they were spies. And it's just the horrible things that they did in the name of God. It's just there's no explanation. I mean, there's no room for it in the 21st century for stuff like this to happen. It just shouldn't happen.
Let me ask you, it might be an ignorant, stupid question, but why is Israel hated so much? Well,
I don't know.
I think I know the answer.
It's jealousy.
There's no answer.
It's just jealousy, because if you look at what Jews and Israel is contributed to the world, it's all the inventions in medication and science.
Yes.
They're hypocrites, because they say we hate Israel, but they use the cell phone that was invented in Israel. And when they use a computer and says Intel inside, that's made in Israel. But they hate Israel. But they're using everything that comes out of Israel. So it's a very hypocritical situation.
Not to mention 60 years prior, when Hitler murdered all the Jews.
Like 80 years ago.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That in itself was sad. You know, it's sad. I'm a Christian. I attend Calvary Chapel, Chino Valley, and in our Bible, in my Bible, the King James Bible,
It's the same Bible.
Yeah, it's the same Bible. I'm just using an example. Those who bless my people will be blessed. And you know what? It doesn't say in the Bible, if Israel does this, if Israel don't do that, it just says those who bless. And this is why I feel America has been blessed. I mean, the president now, they kind of like with Israel.
Yeah.
But Trump, whether you're for Trump or Harris, Trump, I got Israel. I got Israel, you know? And that's what the Christian, a true Christian, we can't dictate or say, why is Israel doing this? You know, that's between you and God. But what do you do? And I'm telling the fans here, and I'm asking you, what do you do if I want you dead? Israel, the Jews, what do you do? How do you?
You have to protect yourself. And it says in the Bible, if somebody gets up to kill you, you kill him first. I mean, that's part of the Bible too.
And the reason I bring that up, Effie, is when it first happened, Israel has all right to defend himself. But now that Israel's winning, now Israel's the bad guy.
Now they're yelling, stop, ceasefire.
How does that work?
They're very conniving. It's a conniving situation. It's they want to kill you, but they don't want you to respond. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to stab you in the face, but don't hit me back. You know?
No, America supports Israel for the military as a defensive military. It's not military that's built to attack or to conquer. It's a military that's built for defense. And Israel is not looking for wars. Israel is a very peaceful country. There's many Arabs that live in Israel in a peaceful way. They become doctors and lawyers and politicians and whatever, better than any Arab country in the world. They have more freedom than anywhere. And you have the people in Gaza and you have the people in the West Bank. It's a very complicated area. I think that they are hostages to the situation. They're being paid to fight and die and sacrifice their kids in the name of God. And it's such a brainwashed situation that for what? They're never going to win.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. They're going to have a better future anywhere except fighting Israel.
Well, I heard this little, I think I told you earlier, I heard this phrase, Israel defends their people with their missiles, but Hamas protects their missiles with their people.
Every house have missiles, and every house has you have baby's room with ammunition under the bed, and it's just crazy. They take pictures with the baby with grenades, and you raise a whole generation just to kill and die.
That's what I was gonna say. These kids, in my opinion, hate isn't. You're not born with hate. You're taught hate.
Yeah,
you're taught hate.
They call it freedom fighters, but first of all, they call it occupation. It's the only country in the world that was occupied before it was existed, because there was no country like this, so it cannot be occupied. There was no country called Palestine. It's Palestine is a name for Jews. It's not.
Yet over the years, Israel has gave them land.
They gave him everything in the name of peace. Just live in peace with us.
And what is the reply? We will not. And I've heard this prior to the October incident. We will not be happy until Israel is off the face of the earth.
So they don't have the right to exist. It's like
they don't have the right to exist. I heard that one too.
How can somebody tell you don't have the right to exist?
So again, fans, how do you deal with that? If you're so critical on Israel and oh, look at what they're doing, they're bombing, innocent people are dying. How do you deal with that when there's no compromising? We want you dead. We want you off the face of the earth. We, as Effie said, they've said, we want you cease to exist. You know what I mean?
Even the way Israel is fighting the war, they're sending soldiers in houses and urban areas and try to prevent from innocent civilians from being killed in the price of soldiers being killed. For example, when America got into Iraq, the first couple months, there was 280,000 Iraqis dead. And it's a smaller area than Gaza. Gaza so far is about 50 or 60,000 dead. Just to give you the numbers, America dropped bombs on Al-Qaeda to kill 2 or 3 people. They had to kill 300. In Israel, the ratio is about 1 to 5. So it's like the numbers are completely, there's no more army than the Israeli army in the world. They sending flyers before they bomb. They sending SMS texts like, if you innocent civilian, if you don't want to fight, then leave the area. That's like, what kind of army does that? Send you an SMS,
give you heads up.
We're gonna bomb. If you don't want to fight, then leave.
I'm gonna hit you with the 1-2. You either put your hands up or put them down. They're giving them so much fair warning. So let me jump back. Did you join military because you had to, or
it's mandatory. It's mandatory. I wanted to. That's one thing I wanted to, and then you have to.
And how is the atmosphere with the teenagers?
Right now?
Yes, right now.
So they call them the TikTok generation and the Instagram generation, and those kids they stood up to the test. They're like, the kids are full of motivations. They want to go to the military. They're doing amazing job. I mean, everybody want to be in special units and fighters, and it's a small country. They defend their families.
And this is the females as well.
Yeah.
Have to do military.
Yeah, my niece was just finished her military service. My nephew is in the military now, and they are full of motivation. They just want to be in the military and do what they need to do.
And through all this madness that's happening right now, are they having any rest time? Any is there a safe zone?
You know what? I was in Israel a couple of weeks ago. I came back last week. Tel Aviv, if you go to Tel Aviv, restaurants are open, bars are open, people are in the street. You have everybody has the app on the phone, just like the Amber Alert. Your phone starts beeping, or there's a siren in the air. You go, you find shelter, you wait there for 5 or 10 minutes, and then you come out and you continue the day like it's nothing. It's a crazy reality. I was walking around Tel Aviv at night at midnight, and there was a siren. So we ran into a building. We go into deep in the building to where it's safe, wait for 10 minutes, and then you go out and the bars are open and everything is open, and it's an unreal reality. It's just like something like you've never seen before.
And we in America take that for granted.
Like I was in my sister's house, and there's a siren, and every house has a bomb shelter. So the dog hears the siren, and the dog runs first to the bomb shelter. Everybody's all trained.
I know I'm laughing, but
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You see that? And then we were watching TV, and there was a siren on TV, and the dog goes to the TV, and the dog recognized that this is a siren on TV, it's not a real one, and he's not running to the dog bomb shelter.
Just hope he doesn't close the door behind him before you guys get in there. But you know what, fans? Just to tell you my heart, I want peace. I'm sure
Everybody wants peace.
Everybody wants peace.
Especially when you see war, you don't want war. It's like,
I mean,
I lost my father, I lost my grandfather. I know people.
I can't even speak on that. I don't know. My son, my oldest son, Ray Jr., was 82nd Airborne Infantry. He went to the first Iraqi war. That was stressful. I can imagine, I can't imagine even being in Israel during these tough times, you know?
Yeah, it's like it's a fight, and it's Israel is being attacked from everywhere, from the north, from the south, from the east, from 2,000 kilometers from Iran, from 1,500 kilometers from Yemen. It's been attacked from 7 different fronts, from inside. It's a really war of survival right now. It's I don't think there was ever a war like this.
Yeah, and you know what? Let's be honest, guys. Israel could end it today if they wanted to.
Yeah.
They're a very powerful country, very powerful in military. So I'm telling you, fans, especially that are being hateful on Israel, sit back, take a chill pill, look at both sides of the story, and you'll see Israel wants peace. But what do you do when they want you dead? You have to fight. You have to fight.
It's just like a bully in school. You know, if he wants to fight you, but you don't want to fight him, what's going to happen?
He's gonna hurt you.
He's going to hurt you. Yeah.
Beat you.
Yeah. So it's the same
The
thing.
only way
You have to fight back.
You have to fight back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with all that said, how do you keep your sense? How do you keep
It's just life goes on. You don't let it discourage you. It's the economy gotta keep going. Life's gotta keep going. Kids gotta keep going to school. You can't stop life. Life goes on.
So
life
is fair to say, Effie, that boxing is a little bit of your outlet?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So-
Going to the gym and releasing things. Yeah, that's
So you still work out then?
yeah, every day.
Every day. Oh, yeah, you look in shape, bro.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah,
5 days a
I
week.
didn't want to ask any stupid question. Get socked up here, bro.
5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7
right.
days a week.
Right. So, I mean, let's jump back to your teenagers. Who were the boxers that you were looking at as a pro?
I think when I first saw Marvelous Marvin Hagler fight, I said, I want to be like him. That was yeah. And I love Tyson too, but Hagler was just like,
He just caught your eye.
yeah, I says, I like his attitude, his demeanor, he's just, the way he was fighting, I said, I want to be like him.
Was there any big time Israel?
No, there was never,
Why do you think that is? Because they were such involved in conflict, they had no.
the sports, it's a small country. The big sports are basketball and soccer. Those are the two major sports. Boxing is like a side sport for like hardcore fans.
But yet, Effie, I had read before this interview, I had read in the military teaches some crazy stuff.
Those are fighting. I was in the military, I was a Krav Maga instructor. So that's
all that secret stuff.
That's not sports. That's how they eliminate somebody. It's like poke an eye, break an arm, stuff like that. It's not a sport.
So that almost amazed me that why didn't they? But now they're involved in MMA as well.
MMA, there's a few MMA good fighters.
MMA fighters too.
Yeah.
So with that said, when you come back here you just got back from Israel, you come back here, you stay in business. What's your other outlet? What do you enjoy doing?
Food. I enjoy good food. Yeah.
What's your meal to go to? If you had to go out on a date today, what would you take?
My favorite food is shawarma. That's Israeli typical food, which is, it's not fancy food, but it just tastes so good.
Just good.
But I like fancy restaurants. I like good foods. I like all kinds of food. It's I just came from a trip. I ate so much. Yeah. So it's like I'm still recovering from all that food.
And music. What are your music?
Music, just the regular genres, the hip hop, rap, the popular stuff.
And do you watch any other sports?
Mostly boxing, a little bit MMA, not basketball, the playoffs, football. I don't really watch football.
Are you watching the baseball, the Dodgers?
Baseball, I don't watch baseball.
You gotta watch the Dodgers, bro.
Yeah.
Gotta watch the Dodgers.
I never really got into it. I know.
Yeah. So, Effie, tell us a little bit about the business. If a dentist want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Website.
Your website? What's your website?
Goldburrs.com.
Goldburrs.com.
Yeah.
Say it again. Tell the camera.
Goldburrs.com. GOLDBURS.com. The best dental drills in the world.
There you go. There you go. So let's jump back into your goal right now. Even though you're an inspector, your goal right now is to be a referee.
Be a referee, yeah. So I'm training. I'm learning as much as I can, getting as much.
The best, Jack.
From you, from Jack, from whatever I get, whatever I can absorb.
Yeah. So who do you think your go-to referee right now? If you had to ask for advice,
Jack or Tom.
Tom too.
Yeah.
What do you see in the future for our boxing? Boxing people.
It keeps the sport is alive. People say the sport is dying, but it's alive. It's looking good. I mean, everything is organized really well. The fighters are protected. Safety of the fighters.
And California, we have. I think we're only second to Japan. We have the most boxing, and even Las Vegas, we have more fights.
More fights in Vegas, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what do you think about the Saudi Arabia guy taking over boxing?
That's interesting, yeah. Huh? They're putting a lot of money.
Putting a lot of money, man. A lot of money. We'll see where that goes.
They're going to take Vegas away over there. They're taking over the world. I mean, they got the money.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, Effie, tell the fans, in a closing note, tell the fans what you want them to feel about Israel, the Jews.
I think you got to look at what's right and wrong, and there's the right way, there's the wrong way, and that's pretty much it. It's you got to do the right thing, and you can't expect doing the wrong thing and getting good results. So when you want to kill somebody and you want to tell somebody that they don't have the right to live, then not good things are going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we can all live in peace. We can all live together. It shouldn't be a problem. Just like in America, people live together.
We agree to disagree. There's some religions I don't agree with. I'm a Christian. You know what I mean? But there's no need to murder and butcher people,
Yeah, that shouldn't have a place in the 21st century to do stuff like this. You want to resist, you want to be a freedom fighter. There's other ways than burning babies.
Yeah, that's sad. Well, with that said, Effie, I really appreciate you coming on, and we're going to do this in 1 year. One more year, we're going to see where you're at.
Yeah.
God willing, man, Effie will be a referee, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I want to thank you for coming on, Effie. I appreciate you, brother. I wish you and your people the best. We got you. We got your back, and we're praying for peace, bro.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
God bless. See you, fans.